Hi everyone, so today's video is going to be how I apply my under eye concealer. I have got quite a few questions on how I apply my under eye concealer. I have been applying it a little bit differently than I used to apply it, but not too much. I'm basically just using different products, and I'm kind of still figuring out what works best for my skin. So I do apply an eye cream, but I will include that into my skincare routine because that's going to be kind of different. Basically, the concealer I use, I don't really have too much of darkness under my eyes. I have a little bit depending on how much sleep I get, but even if I do get quite a bit of sleep, I still don't have, luckily I still don't have too bad of under eye circles. Mainly my lids get a little bit darker than my skin tone, but nothing crazy. Also, I have noticed a few concealers that I really do love just tend to wear funny on me, and throughout the day I will have, not even throughout the day, not even like, it doesn't even have to be like halfway through the day, it could just be like a few hours after I apply my under eye concealer, even an hour after I apply my under eye concealer, I can notice little flakes from my mascara, which is something that I really cannot stand when I apply under eye concealer, only because I just don't have time and I just don't really want to have to keep fixing it throughout the day. I already have to worry about my face being oily and splotchy and having to touch that up. Anyway, so the products that I kind of finally found work for me. My under eyes are kind of dry and oily. They're not super oily, but they're not super dry either. They're probably drier than my whole face, but I definitely need a kind of in the middle concealer for under my eyes. So I have found that works for me. Again, everybody's different. Everybody has different preferences. Everybody's skin is different. So this is what works for me. If you kind of have in between oily and dry under eyes, then this might work for you. If you have a little bit more darker circles, I'm not really sure how this is going to work just because I don't have really dark under eye circles. So what I use is the sheer cover, and I use both of them. I always have to put the darker one in my inner corners just because my inner corners do have a little discoloration, and the yellow undertones, this definitely kind of counteracts any darkness or any discoloration. So I really love that. And then as far as the lighter one, I do just pat that one underneath my eyes. So I do use both of these. I do really like it. It is on the sheer side, so if you like a little bit more thicker consistency, I would not recommend this. But again, I don't really need too much of a thickness, so I do like this in how light it is and how it doesn't really feel heavy and oily on my skin. So I really do love that. And then as far as another under eye concealer, if I kind of didn't get enough sleep, if I have school or something, I do like to use another concealer over top of it. And again, this is just a lighter concealer. It's not anything heavy. It's not going to be cakey. And this is the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer. I love this concealer because the consistency is really light, yet it can cover really nicely. But I do notice that it does a pretty great job in covering. I really do have an indent right here on my eyes, so this does a really good job at kind of filling in the indents. I normally really loved this concealer, but then when I tried the sheer cover, I like that one a lot more. I still really do like this. Again, I only use this on days that I just didn't get enough sleep. If I have a little bit of puffiness, this does a good job at covering up. This does a good job just alone, but with my mascara that I'm using, it kind of flakes down on it if I use this. But if I just use this, I don't notice throughout the day any mascara. I don't know if it's how I apply my mascara or what, but I don't notice it with the sheer cover. If you don't mind just kind of fixing your under eyes, kind of checking throughout the day, then go for it. But I really don't, just because when I'm at school and stuff, I really don't want to have to be like checking the mirror and being that girl in the bathroom doing their makeup. So I do like them both, but I just prefer this one over this one. As far as some alternatives, if you do need a little bit more thicker consistency product, I really do like the Glamoflauge concealer. It is a little bit too oily for my under eyes. It's a little bit too oily in general to put on my face to even cover up any blemishes just because my skin is already oily. But if I really need to cover up any dark circles, or if I literally had like no sleep, then maybe I would pull these out. And it is a heavy duty concealer. They do have kind of a funny color selection. They only have like 3 colors or 4 colors to choose from. So to get my color, I do have to mix 2 of them. I also really do like the Sarah McNarma Miracle Skin Transformer Concealer, but this again is a little bit too oily. It's not as oily as the Glamoflauge, but it does have a silicone base included in it, so for me, it kind of slides off my under eyes. It's really great for blemishes, but if you have drier under eyes, then this would work really good because it does have a silicone base in it. And then I do set it, and I used to set it with my mineral skin finish just because I can't use this all over my face because it does break me out. And it's really oily. With any of the mineral skin finishes, I cannot put on my whole entire face. It does make my skin more oily, and I just don't like that. So I do use this, or used to use this. Sometimes I'll use this if I really don't want to use my other product that I'm going to show you, but I do really like this to set my concealer. It's important to set your concealer only because it will, throughout the day, it could settle into your fine lines, or it could crease and cause you to look like you have fine lines, and you might not have fine lines. So it is important to set your concealer just so it doesn't move or budge. And that's kind of something that you have to play around with and work with, depending on your skin type. Again, some concealer set into the skin immediately, some concealer set into the skin in a few minutes, so it's just kind of something you got to play around with. But a new product that I have been using and I am obsessed with, I don't think that I could go back, is the Bareminerals Well Rested. And this is really great on its own. You can really use this to use it. You could use this as a concealer itself. You don't have to use it as a setting powder. I, in my case, use it as a setting powder just because, again, my under eyes are oily and dry. You hardly need any product, and it really does a great job just brightening and putting like a pop under your eyes, kind of making you look like you got a really good night's rest. So now with that said, I'm going to do a quick demo of how I apply my concealer. And I'm going to be using the Sheer Cover Concealer, and I'm going to get the dark one, and with like my ring finger or my middle finger, I'm just going to get the corner. I just blend that down, and then you can just blend that up. I'm going to put an eyelid primer on so it will kind of blend it all together. And then what I'm going to do is go into the lightest shade. So with my ring finger or my middle finger, I'm just going to start patting. And I kind of like to look up just so that it doesn't crease. And I just keep patting. This stuff usually doesn't crease too much, but it can crease. And I'm just going to be focusing on my little indentation I have right here. Just keep patting until it's blended down. And then I'm just going to bring it down just a little bit. Now I don't have like really dark circles, but sometimes it's darker than others, and sometimes I get puffiness from not sleeping. On days that I have school really early, I do have to go in with another concealer because the Sheer Cover, it's a really nice concealer, but it is kind of sheer, so it isn't as thick as some people might like. And then using my Maybelline Age Rewind concealer. This one is in Fair Clair. I'm just gonna twist it twice, and I'm just going to place it right underneath, kind of focusing it in right there again. And I'm going to pat that. And as you can see, it's not too much lighter than my foundation, but I really like it to brighten up my eye area. And then using my Bareminerals Well Rested and my Naked 2 brush by Urban Decay. It's just like the dual-ended. I like to use this fluffy side brush. And what I do here is I just get a little bit on my brush and then I'll tap it off. Sometimes I'll tap it off in the cap. A little does go a long way with this. You don't really need too much. If you put too much, it will start to look really cakey and it really won't do its purpose. Start going in the corner. This also works really good on its own, but if you like a little bit of coverage, then I would put a concealer. I'm just gonna go down my nose and then up to the corner of my eye, and then just lighten up any of that area. You could also use this to cover up blemishes. It works really good to, again, counteract any discoloration you have, any darkness or anything like that. So that's what I do. You can see it's light. It's not nothing dramatic. You could also use this as an eye primer. Sometimes I'll put it on my eye as a primer, but not always. And it also really works good as a highlight too. So it could be used for many different things. So that's basically it, really simple. Again, this is what works for me. Doesn't mean it's going to work for everybody, so you kind of got to feel out what skin type you have and what kind of products work well for your skin. So hopefully this will work for someone, and you kind of learned something from this video and found that the video was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!